Hey everyone, welcome to a quick look solo of 140. I think we should all just take a minute, pick up the closest drink that you have next to you, close your eyes, and let's just enjoy this title menu. Okay, I actually did close my eyes, so hopefully you did as well. This is 140. It is a rhythm music platformer, I guess would be how you would describe it. Oh, it didn't save. I'm not sure how saving works in this. That's alright. We'll just start from the beginning. That's fine. This game does appear to be relatively short, so this will probably be a actual quick look to give you a sort of example. I finished. It looks like there's 3 worlds. There's a boss at the end of each world, and I finished the first world in about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit less. You know, I have to imagine that it gets a little more complicated as it goes on, but yeah, I don't think this is a particularly long game. It wouldn't completely shock me if the game was about an hour, if not a little less. Probably, or rather a little more, I should say, but hard to say. So in terms of control, movement, pretty simple. Left to right, jump. There's literally nothing else going on. Your block changes shape as you move around, but it does not have a meaningful impact on mechanics, at least in the spots that I've played. But, you know, you can see it reflected. Like, look, you can kind of do a wall jump. You can't actually jump off the wall, but you can slide down it. So as you, like, the worlds, at least as far as I can tell, are sort of set up and predetermined, and then as you complete each sort of section, I guess stage in the larger world, it manipulates pieces and changes pieces that were sort of innocuous before and suddenly become very important, or allow you to reach areas that you couldn't before. So, you know, like in a Metroidvania type game where you are actually gaining abilities for the character in order to progress through the world. In this case, the world is actually changing. And the music determines and interacts with a lot of the objects. Like you can see here, it's like bum, 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 bum. So in order to be successful, it's important that you keep that kind of stuff in mind. It gets a little more complicated as it goes on, where I actually have found myself tapping my foot in order to get the platforming right. So bum, 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 bum. So I don't exactly, you know, vocalize that the entire time I play. I mostly just wanted to demonstrate how you can keep that in your head as you go along. But I find that to be something that I end up doing when I play these sort of music games, where you can play it just based on the visual cues, but, you know, part of the beauty of some of these games is that it is advantageous to take into the music into account, because you can actually figure out the rhythm of the design in a way that you can't if you aren't consciously thinking about the music. So like in this case, so you can actually, if you're not thinking about it enough, if you time it incorrectly, I timed my death incorrectly. But as platforms appear, you can actually die if you're not thinking about that. So that's something to keep in mind as you're playing. Woo! So it's got a pretty simple aesthetic, but I think it works. It doesn't kind of try to be anything more than it's capable of, or I guess I don't know. That's not a fair description or an accurate one of how I feel about it. It's more that I feel like it makes great use of its simple aesthetic. It sort of embraces it in a way that it works for the game. Oh, so like that's an example of I was mostly paying attention to the visuals as opposed to sort of keeping in mind how this changes based on the music. Bum, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum. So I find when I play these games and I start to internalize the beat that you can, it's not that you're playing purely visually, but that let's just enjoy it for a second while I get through this section. You end up getting sort of an internalized sense of the beat, so even if you're not consciously thinking of how it's working out rhythmically, you are actually putting that into practice because you have internalized the beat. And it's nice because the beat doesn't really change as you're going through the individual section. It only changes when you move on to the next one, so you can sort of apply the logic that you've gained over the course of the stage to the rest of it. I love the moments where like this, where it just decides to go boom. Like it just really amps up in a way that just feels really satisfying. And I found that the platforming is not particularly difficult. It is more about coming to understand the rhythm and applying that logic. I find that it's floaty enough that I can make some miscalculations, and you can change enough mid-air to adjust and compensate for what you might get wrong in terms of actually jumping from platform to platform. Woo! Where the game starts to become sort of challenging, and you kind of see an illustration there, is where there are multiple beats occurring, and thus you have to start taking into account those different beats in order to actually accomplish the platforming challenges in front of you. Shoot. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Shoot. Try this again. Bum, bum, bum. 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 Bum, bum. I find that I have to vocalize it a bit more to get the timing down there, simply because I'm not completely immersed in it, because I'm talking over this and not enjoying it and sort of immersing myself in the way that I might do or would do when I'm playing it on my own. Come here, buddy. Woo! I feel like we're gonna get to the end here of me wanting to show off too much more of this game, because you know, part of this is playing it for the puzzles. Okay, this is where we'll see if I can finish this first boss battle. If I die, then we'll end it there regardless. But you can see this is sort of on beat 2. You don't have a sense of the beat yet because the music hasn't kicked in, but now I do. Oh. Damn. So that is that's 140. I really, even this, I feel like maybe I showed a little bit too much, because it is essentially 1/3 of the game. It is a extremely short game, but I think effective for what it's trying to do. It's available on Steam now. That's only $5. Runs in Unity, and the visuals are not that complicated. So my guess is that I think there's a Mac version as well. Sorry, I'm completely botching this because I'm trying to talk at the same time. you could probably run this on something like a MacBook Air reasonably well. I have not tested myself, but in any case, that is 140. If you are like me and you like rad music games, especially when they start infusing it with platformers, A, you should maybe check this out. And then B, why haven't you played Bit Trip Runner 2? And also, Patrick, why haven't you finished Bit Trip Runner 2? That's a good question. I'm going to go and try and solve that. I'll talk to you guys later.